All India Radio presents Morning News. Good morning. I am Meenakshi Sant. The headlines. Prime Minister Narendra Modi says India is achieving new heights despite global crisis. Ayush sector to command market share of $23 billion globally by 2023, says Ayush Minister Sarbananda Sonowal. Over 75% voter turnout recorded for assembly elections in Himachal Pradesh. India tells COP27 not to make coal the lone villain as all fossil fuels contribute to greenhouse gas emissions. India and ASEAN reaffirm importance of maintaining peace, stability and freedom of navigation in Indo-Pacific region. India's Mehuli Ghosh bags gold medal at Asian Airgun Championship in Daegu, South Korea. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has said that India has written a new chapter of development despite the global crisis due to the disruption in supply chains for critical products and energy needs. He said, in these difficult times, even international experts are praising India's achievements and the country has become the center of hope for the entire world.
पिछले 2-2.5 साल से पूरा विश्व कोरोना महामारी से लड़ रहा है। दूसरी तरफ जो संघर्ष चल रहे हैं, तनाव चल रहे हैं, उसका प्रभाव भी देश और दुनिया पर पड़ रहा है। लेकिन इन विपरीत परिस्थितियों के बीच आज हम सभी पूरी दुनिया में एक और बात प्रमुखता से सुन रहे हैं। दुनिया के तमाम एक्सपर्ट कह रहे हैं कि भारत बहुत जल्द दुनिया की तीसरी सबसे बड़ी इकोनॉमी बनकर के उस दिशा में तेज गति से आगे बढ़ रहा। सभी एक्सपर्ट ये भी कह रहे हैं कि जितनी ग्रोथ 90 के बाद 30 साल में हुई, उतनी अब सिर्फ कुछ ही वर्षों में होने वाली।
Mr. Modi was addressing a function to launch projects worth over 10,500 crore rupees at Visakhapatnam in Andhra Pradesh. The Prime Minister said this was possible because of the fact that India is working while keeping in mind the aspiration and need of its citizens. He said every policy and decision is aimed at making the life of the common citizen better. The PM referred to the PLI scheme, GST and the national infrastructure in the pipeline, among other things, as the cause of increased investments in India. Mr. Modi said at the same time schemes for the welfare of the poor were being expanded. The Prime Minister also listed many steps like free rations to the people for the last 2.5 years and 6,000 rupee every year in the account of every farmer. Even in the most backward districts, development schemes are being run through the Aspirational Districts program, he said. Mr. Modi said, in this Amrit Kal, the country is moving forward rapidly on the path of development with the objective of becoming a developed India. Union Minister Sarbananda Sonowal has said India's Ayush sector will command a market share of $23 billion globally by 2023. He said Ayurveda is one of the finest practices that has emerged from our rich heritage of more than 5,000 years. Mr. Sonowal said the call for vocal for local by Prime Minister Narendra Modi gave a boost to the Indian traditional practices with a rich experience of enriching human lives. The Ayush Minister was speaking at the closing ceremony of the Silver Jubilee celebration of Ayurveda Vyaspeeth in Nagpur yesterday. He said the wide acceptability of Ayurveda along with other traditional medicinal practices has given a shot in the arm to the Ayush sector globally. Mr. Sonowal said the Ayush Ministry is also undertaking many initiatives to enable our Ayush sector to reach this objective within the desired time frame. Over 75% voter turnout has been recorded for assembly elections in Himachal Pradesh. Polling for all 68 seats was held yesterday in the state. Overall poll percentage is likely to go up after adding 5 categories of postal ballots. The highest 85.2% voting was recorded in Doon seat, whereas the lowest 62.53% voting was registered in Shimla urban constituency. Poll percentage in 2017 Assembly poll was 75.57%. Counting of votes in the state will be held on December the 8th. We spoke to the Chief Electoral Officer Manish Garg about yesterday's polling.
पूरे हिमाचल प्रदेश में जो एकल मतदान संपन्न हुआ और पीसफुली ये कंप्लीट हुआ। हमारी जो पोलिंग पार्टी सभी वापस आ गई हैं कलेक्शन सेंटर्स पर और स्ट्रांग रूम्स की सीलिंग जो है वो चल रही है। काजा और लाहौल स्पीति एक क्षेत्र है, वहाँ पे भी मशीन्स पहुंच गई थी और अभी उनको ट्रांसपोर्ट किया जाएगा बाय हेलीकॉप्टर टू कुल्लू। हमारे लगभग 3% इलेक्टर्स हैं वो पोस्टल बैलेट वाले हैं, जिसमें से कि 1% हमारे पास वो भी आ गए हैं। हमारा जो मतदान प्रतिशत है वो 75 से ऊपर हो गया है और अभी जैसे फाइनल रिपोर्ट आएगी तो फिर हम फाइनल अपडेट देख पाएंगे।
In Gujarat, the total of 324 candidates have filed nominations for the two-phase polls to the 182-member state assembly so far. 316 candidates have filed nomination forms for the first phase of polling on December the 1st, while 8 for the second phase on December the 5th. Congress has released another list of 9 candidates yesterday. Meanwhile, the Election Commission is making various efforts to prevent the use of money power during elections in the state. We have a report.
The Election Commission has also increased its strictness as soon as the campaigning in Gujarat picks up. Since the announcement of elections in the state, the Commission has so far recovered an amount of more than 71 crore rupees, while only 27 crore rupees was recovered in the entire 2017 Assembly elections. The Gujarat police has also seized around 1,10,000 litres of liquor. Apart from this, toys and other materials worth rupees 64 crore have also been seized so far. For effective monitoring to curb money power in the elections in Gujarat, Election Commission has deployed 69 expenditure observers. 27 assembly constituencies have been marked as the expenditure sensitive in the state for closer monitoring. With Aparna Khoot, Sanjeev Sharma, AIR News, Ahmedabad.
India has told the UN climate talks COP27 not to make coal the lone villain, as all fossil fuels contribute to the greenhouse gas GHG emissions. Making its intervention during presidency consultation on the cover decisions of COP27, India also suggested certain points to be included in the decision text, saying the long-term goal of the Paris Agreement requires phasing down of all fossil fuels. India urged the acceleration of the global clean energy transition as per national circumstances and acknowledging that all fossil fuels contribute to GHG emissions. India also invited other countries to consider the Sustainable Development Goal 12, SDG 12, on sustainable consumption and production and promote a global mass movement for climate-friendly lifestyles. India and ASEAN have reaffirmed the importance of maintaining and promoting peace, stability, maritime safety, freedom of navigation and overflight in the Indo-Pacific region. In a joint statement, India and ASEAN also reaffirmed their commitment to peaceful resolution of disputes in accordance with international law, including United Nations Convention on the Law of Seas, UNCLOS. They called for establishing a comprehensive strategic partnership and enhancing cooperation against terrorism as Vice President Jagdeep Dhankar addressed the 19th ASEAN-India Summit in Phnom Penh. The ASEAN states appreciated India's support for the ASEAN centrality in the evolving regional architecture and its continued contribution to regional peace, security and prosperity, and to ASEAN integration and the ASEAN community building process. External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar met United Nations Secretary-General Antonio Guterres on the sidelines of the 19th ASEAN Summit at Phnom Penh in Cambodia yesterday. Dr. Jaishankar tweeted about a warm conversation with the United Nations Secretary-General at the end of the ASEAN Gala dinner. Dr. Jaishankar, who is accompanying Vice President Jagdeep Dhankar on this ASEAN summit, also met U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken, the Deputy Prime Minister of Thailand and Foreign Minister Don Pramudwinai on this occasion. This is All India Radio giving you the news. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle at AIR News Alerts. Jammu and Kashmir Lieutenant Governor has said that a sea of change can be witnessed after August 2019 and abrogation of Article 370, which marked the beginning of a new era of peace and progress in Jammu and Kashmir and removed social disparities. Mr. Sinha said this while delivering his address at the Chanakya Dialogues organized by the Chanakya Forum at New Delhi yesterday. Speaking on the change in Jammu and Kashmir, which it has been witnessing in the past 3 years, the Lieutenant Governor said the progress of Jammu and Kashmir has been the top priority and commitment of Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi, and maintained that J&K is on the move and full of self-confidence and is marching forward on the path to progress. Indian shooter Mehuli Ghosh beat South Korean Yeon Young Cho to clinch the women's 10-meter air rifle gold medal at the Asian Air Gun Championship in Daegu, South Korea yesterday. The junior women's gold was bagged by Tilotama Sen, who beat compatriot in qualification Tapan Nancy 17-11 in the 10-meter air rifle event. In the youth women's event, India's Gautami Bhanot won gold, Yukti Rajendra silver, and Hazel won bronze medal. The trio also won the youth team gold, beating Korea 16-6. The Indian youth team also bagged the gold, beating Korea 16-8. In cricket, Pakistan will face England in the T20 World Cup final in Melbourne today. The match will start at 1:30 p.m. IST. All India Radio will broadcast a running commentary of the match. According to the Meteorological Department of Australia, there is a possibility of rain today. The ICC has issued new guidelines for today's match, in which the reserve day's extra time can be extended. In case of rainfall on both days of the final and the game being called off, England and Pakistan will be declared joint winners. Shiva Thapa clinched a silver medal as India concluded the Asian Elite Boxing Championship with 12 medals in Amman, Jordan yesterday. Thapa had to settle for a silver medal after losing to Uzbekistan's Ruslan Abdullayev in the men's 63 kg final. Thapa's quest for a second gold in the championship was halted by an unfortunate injury which he suffered to his right knee in the second round of the bout. This was Thapa's third silver and sixth medal overall at the prestigious tournament, which makes him one of the most successful male pugilists in the championship's history. Delhi BJP has released a list of 232 candidates for the upcoming municipal election in the national capital. There are 126 women candidates on the list. The party has fielded 9 former mayors, 52 former councillors, 3 candidates who've contested the assembly elections, 2 state office bearers, 4 district presidents, as well as 3 doctors. And now for an overview of today's newspapers, it's over to you, Prashant Sinha.
Thank you, Meenakshi. Most newspapers have covered the elections in 68 constituencies in Himachal Pradesh on their front pages. Voters in Himachal brave cold to record 73.6% polling, headlines The Hindu. The Sunday Tribune states HP voter silent, parties banking on swing votes. The Times of India informs that all 52 electors, some dressed in traditional clothes, turned out to vote at Tashigang, a booth 15,256 feet in the Spiti Valley. The Economic Times reports on its front page inflation in October may be lower than 7%. RBI Governor Das reiterates 7% growth outlook for India this fiscal. And finally, the Indian Express informs next door to Delhi, a bank to store country's digitized biological data. The biobank will store genomes of plants, humans and microbes.
And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Prime Minister Narendra Modi says India is achieving new heights despite global crisis. Ayush sector to command market share of $23 billion globally by 2023, says Ayush Minister Sarbananda Sonowal. Over 75% voter turnout recorded for assembly elections in Himachal Pradesh. India tells COP27 not to make coal the lone villain, as all fossil fuels contribute to greenhouse gas emissions. India and ASEAN reaffirm importance of maintaining peace, stability and freedom of navigation in the Indo-Pacific region. India's Mehuli Ghosh bags gold medal at Asian Airgun Championship in Daegu, South Korea. And with that, we end the morning news. Have a nice day.